all 4 days, fish 3. Then the following week, he would fish 4 all 4 days.
Great.
That was
I'd like to call to order the Lopatcong Township regular meeting for March 6, 2024. Please bow your head for a moment of silence. Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Ledger, the Express Times, Warren County Zone, and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Let's have a roll call, please.
Yes. Councilman Valcaro. Councilman Marinelli.
Here.
Councilman McQuaid.
Here.
Council President Polito.
Here.
Mayor Wright.
Here. Larry, would you mind summarizing the executive session,
Yes,
please?
thank you. The first matter was that the council authorized to submit advertisements to hire a deputy clerk, which is an existing position in the township, but which presently is unfilled. So they authorized to go out for ads to obtain applications for a position of deputy clerk. As far as the construction office is concerned, the person who is taking over for the construction code official, who unfortunately passed away, is now going to school for additional license. And in the meantime, as a stopgap measure, the township will be retaining the services of a licensed building inspector to do plan review for up to 4 hours per week at a rate of $45 per hour as a contract employee, not a regular employee. The shared court update, if everybody knows, the township is now going into a shared municipal court program with the Township of Lopatcong. The court will be at the Lopatcong facility, and the judge over there will be the presiding judge. Many municipalities, the majority of municipalities in Warren County do shared services with reference to courts because of the cost. The last is an attorney-client issue dealing with some update issues on the Lopatcong Emergency Medical Services, the pre-existing entity. That, I think, sums up the closed executive session. Mayor, I'd like to motion that we contract with Mark Fornicari as interim building inspector to do the plan review in the construction office.
Can I have a motion on that? A second?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please, Beth.
Yes. Councilman Marinelli.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Council President Polito.
Yes.
Mayor Wright.
Yes. Okay, old business. Minutes. Approve executive and regular session for the February 7th, 2024. I have a motion and a second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Beth.
Yes. Councilman Marinelli.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Council President Polito.
Yes.
Mayor Wright.
Yes. Number 2, ordinance number 24-3, second reading and public hearing to adjust established wage rates for certain employees. Motion and a second to hold a public meeting, or hearing, sorry. All in favor?
No, motion.
Oops, sorry.
Motion.
Yeah,
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Questions? Haven't seen, close it. Motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion to, in a second to act, please.
Motion act.
Second.
And roll call, please, Beth.
Yes. Councilman Marinelli.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Council President Polito.
Yes.
Mayor Wright.
Yes. Ordinance number 24-04, second reading and public hearing to establish a yearly cap bank under the local cap bank law in preparation of the annual budget. Need a motion and a second to hold a public meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Questions? Seeing none, motion second to close the public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
And motion to act.
Motion to act.
And roll call, Beth, please.
Yes. Councilman Marinelli?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Council President Polito?
Yes.
Mayor Wright?
Yes. Ordinance number 24-05 has been tabled. That was the vacation public street known as Block 95, Lot 1801, to become part of the adjacent lots. This matter is being referred to the planning board for their review and recommendation and will be put forth for a second reading on April 3rd, 2024. New business, ordinance number 24-06. First reading to include provision of background checks for members appointed to Recreation Committee. Motion and second, please.
Motion.
Roll call, Beth?
Yes. Councilman Marinelli?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Council President Polito?
Yes.
Mayor Wright?
Yes. Okay, consent agenda 1 through 14, if everybody has taken a look at it. Need a motion and a second to approve them?
Motion.
Roll call, please, Beth?
Yes. Councilman Marinelli?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Council President Polito?
Yes.
Mayor Wright?
Yes. All right, council reports?
Mayor, I don't have anything today.
Nothing? Scott?
I have nothing.
Thank you, Mayor. The town Easter egg hunt is scheduled for the 23rd of this month, rain date of 30th. And the town cleanup in connection with Earth Day is scheduled for April 20th. And that's all for now. Thank you.
All right. Report from the engineer, chief? And, Adam?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, to give the council and public an update on some of the engineering items that we're currently working on. The council, no doubt, has seen some of the items in the consent agenda. I can speak to those specifically. The first item that was an engineering matter was the award of the contract to Top Line Construction. We received bids for that project. And this is a contractor that's worked in the township on multiple occasions over the last, over many years. They'll be doing the Jade Lane Improvement Project, specifically the sidewalk and drainage infrastructure repairs. So now that that contract has been awarded, we'll be coordinating with them. I'll be coordinating with them to get started on that project with the intent to construct those improvements and then follow on that with repaving of Jade Lane, the entire length. The next project is the Upper Belvedere Road Transportation Alternatives Program. Again, to Top Line Construction. This project was actually bid last May, but because it is a transportation alternatives program through the NJDOT, there's also a federal funding component to that. So the review process is, as you can imagine, very strict and stringent and takes a long time with the federal requirements for bidding and award. So now that we've been authorized to award that contract, we'll now be starting the process of coordinating with the DOT so that we can move into the construction phase of the project with the intent and the hope to break ground on that project as school lets out, to minimize the amount of disruption to the school traffic and the public during the school sessions. So that project, the limits of that is from First Street up to Wildew Avenue, and that's going to be construction of new sidewalk and reconstruction of the existing sidewalks. Finally, the next item is, let's see what I had. That's right. We received authorization to bid the Bellevue Road Phase 2 project. That project was constructed 2 years ago, the Phase 1 portion. The Phase 2 portion is from Strikers Road to 519. So the NJDOT authorized us to bid that project. We'll be bidding it in the next week or two, and shortly after receiving bids and hopefully bringing that project into construction as well. So we'll have a number of capital jobs under construction. One item that, Mayor, you would ask me to provide an update on, the work on the Township Pool and Park project improvements. The concept plans and cost estimates have now been completed. The next step in the process is establishing and securing the funding mechanisms for that. So in conjunction with Beth and the CFO, clerk and CFO's office, we'll be having a meeting with bond counsel to review that funding process. Once that completes, then we'll be able to move into the design process and advancing that project eventually into construction as well. And that'll be all the improvements that were presented as part of the park master plan. Let's see what else I have here. Then there was an item that we're currently working on, and I think this came out of the clerk's office. Beth had requested us to review the ordinances related to road opening permits and the procedures for processing those. So there were some recommendations that Paul Sturgeon had put forward, and we're currently working with the Township Attorney's Office in a legal review for some of those recommendations and revisions, which, hopefully shortly we'll be advancing that to an ordinance revision to create more structure to the sort of enforcement of road opening permits and give us more ability to manage contractors that come in to do work in the township. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Chief, you have anything?
I'll just add my traffic report, sir. So for the past month, the police department saw 160 motor vehicle stops. 56% of those stops resulted in motor vehicle summonses to those drivers, and then 13% of them of those issued were tractor trailer drivers. We did also spend some time on South 6th Street over this past couple of weeks. Probably spent a better part of 20 hours out there, but there really wasn't a whole lot of activity to report. So we did receive a complaint that there was a lot of speeding activity. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but it wasn't happening frequently as we're out there at least 20 hours this past month. And that's the end of my report.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Lou, do you have anything for the fire department you want to bring up? Great seeing you guys here.
Yep. So I'm pleased to announce that we were awarded a $40,000 grant by the State of New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for structural firefighting gear. It's the second time that we got the grant. Last year, we got a grant for $9,000 for a gear washer. So it'll be a plus for us to get additional gear for our members.
Great.
All right.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, Brian, you have anything you want to talk about? Brian, no, you good?
Just basic, same stuff, get ready for sports, cleaning the town up.
Great.
in the winter.
Approval of department reports.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of payment of bills.
Second.
Councilman Marinelli?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Council President Polito?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Public comment. Anybody want anything to say? Good? Good, John?
Just seeking clarification on something.
I agree.
John Ketcherson, 38 Street. I'm sorry, Beth, I forget that every time. In May of 2023, going back a little bit, the council passed a resolution to send to the Highlands Council an amended petition for conformance that includes a Highland Center designation for the farmland behind the mall. So that's where the second of the warehouses is going to be built there. In December of 2023, the council passed a resolution authorizing submission of a petition to the Highlands Council for designation of the Highlands redevelopment area, again, including warehouses on both properties. Now, if you look at the Highlands Council website, it states that Lopatcong has withdrawn the request for center designation for the warehouse and the farmland behind the mall. But the town's now seeking HERZ designation for a handful of properties along Lock Street that abut that land. But they withdrew the application for the Highlands Council to build a warehouse. So I'm wondering, what's Lopatcong's plans for these properties, since the latest document of the Highlands Council website states that warehouse plans have been withdrawn?
What they say?
it just
Still
says
the
that,
website, right? I don't know.
well, Lopatcong submitted the new request. I have it here. If you, I can read it to you. It just says it's been withdrawn. So why were the warehouse plans withdrawn? I mean, I'm glad they were. And will they be resubmitted in the future?
No, they were not withdrawn.
I don't know anything about that.
The Highlands Council informed us that they wanted a different approach to that.
Right.
No longer a center designation.
It's like a redevelopment plan.
Yes, there's a hearing that's going to be held
Right.
April 21st.
But the latest, yeah, that was on our website. But the latest one, it says it's the joint petition for amended Highland Center designation. And it says a warehouse project involving 2 vacant lots situated behind the mall, for warehouses in Lopatcong. It says note withdrawn.
Is that a Highlands letter correspondence that you have there?
It is. Well, it's if you go on the Highlands Council website, it has the notice of what, is coming up.
Yeah.
And if you click on the document, this is what it is. It says that the warehouse plans have been
Well, I
withdrawn.
would suggest that you contact them because we're not aware of that at all.
So the plans are still submitted for the
yes.
warehouse. Okay, all right, thank you.
Anybody else?
Bob Bruce, 11 Harwich Road. Regarding the concept and the cost approval on the park, is that going to be meetings? Like, are you done? Because there was very good discussion held in public about that. Beth actually had some very good suggestions about the weight room and whatnot. We're going to hear more about that, right?
Yes, yeah, we're putting it out, right? And then once we get
Yeah, we need to get through the bond attorney review. And then I believe there's going to be further discussion.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, great. And the issue of the phase one, I think I didn't mark where it was, but there was an approval of, yeah. So I thought that was not, I thought that was delayed until later phases, but it's,
Well, I can speak to that, sure. This is a separate grant application. So the township sought a grant last year for the planned pickleball courts at the park. And we were awarded that grant through the DCA, the NJDCA Local Recreation Grant Fund. And this year, we're seeking a grant under the same program. They opened grants for that. And we're seeking a grant for the first phase of the playground at the park. So the future playground.
okay, but so it's first phase of the playground, but that's actually going to be a later phase of the park
Well,
pool.
the idea was, it's a grant thing, but we
Right.
break the playground into multiple pieces because it's
Right.
not going to be cheap
Right,
to make it handicap accessible, all ages, all abilities
Right.
playground. So we're going to seek multiple rounds of grant funding if we can
right.
to build it over the number of, grant funding cycles.
Right.
to say that.
I just want to also, thank you, give a shout out. We were at the planning board meeting and your old business ordinance 2404 that you tabled, 2405 that you tabled about the vacation of the paper street. I was quite impressed with the way the planning board and the people that were affected came together and basically came up with a common sense solution. So I'm glad to see that that got passed forward to you guys.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Betts?
I just have one statement to make. My name is John Betts, and I live in Brinkley Gardens. I just hope the Lord and our aggregate wit gets us through the next several and multiple years ahead for our country. And I hope it's successful. I hope it's prosperous, and I hope it goes forward and does not meet an untold demise. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, anyone else? Seeing none, a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you guys for all coming out.